We are streaming on the 18th.
Yes, it is the 18th, because tomorrow's the 19th.
18th of October. I have no idea what day of the week it is, as per usual.
It's Sunday.
Yes, it is, because we're streaming.
Because we are streaming.
There we go. I was about to be like, how did you know that so fast?
It's because I have Dungeons & Dragons on Sunday. And streaming. And I've done one of those things today, and now I'm doing the other.
Yay!
Thus making it Sunday.
So, I apologize wholeheartedly, you guys. I was super sick last week. I came down with a really bad cold the Thursday before streaming. And by Sunday, I was pretty much just a pile of snot.
That's gross.
It was real bad. It was real bad. But I'm here again, and only slightly dazed, only slightly weaker. I am going to warn you guys before we get going. I got some bad news about a good friend of mine passing away this morning, just hours before the stream, and I was this close to calling off the stream because I was pretty upset about it at the time. But I decided that, hey, we can still stream, and I apologize because if my mind wanders and I just stop talking and stop drawing for a second, that's what's happening.
It's all right.
Bear with me.
If it happens, it'll just become the Geoff Show.
Yep.
Which is what you're probably all here
That's
for
why
anyways. And we will talk about so much Star Wars that you'll just be thoroughly entertained.
So much Star Wars.
So much Star Wars. You've got to be so interested in everything I have to say about Star Wars.
Before we get to Star Wars and Steven Universe, which we are going to talk about.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh, man.
For those of you who read my comic, MegaCynics, MegaCynics.com.
Well, that's a great name for a comic.
Probably go check it out.
You should put that on a t-shirt or a mug.
I have it on a t-shirt and mug, actually. You can't buy them anymore, though. So I don't know why we're plugging that.
Oh, man.
You can find the comic below the stream. You should go read it. It's pretty great. Maybe not right now, because we're talking. About 2 years ago, I did 2 back-to-back possible Buster Halloween costumes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were big hits, and the last 2 Halloweens, I've meant to do a follow-up to it, and I keep missing Halloween because I come up with other ideas for the comic.
Oh,
but
Lady reads your comic. That's great.
Yay!
Thanks, Lady.
This year...
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening!
And I did one today, which is going up tomorrow, which I'll show you right now. Eventually.
It just looks like Buster in a pug costume.
Yeah, that's his pug costume.
Yeah.
So, here's the one that's going up tomorrow.
Ooh.
So we've got Buster. I've been writing these down for 2 years, by the way.
Yeah, you just been collecting Buster puns.
I've got more on my phone, too.
Pug puns.
But these are my favorites, and someone on Twitter actually recommended the Furiosa one.
Yeah, Impugnator Furiosa. That's very good. I really like it. I really like the Buster Bunny one, because, I don't know, do as many people know Tiny Toons now? I feel like Tiny Toons was something that hit when we were kids, but then it kind of went away and didn't, I don't recall Tiny Toons having a long life in reruns the way that Looney Tunes did.
It really didn't. After I did the second Halloween costume one, someone was just like, why not Buster Bunny? I'm like, oh my god, of course, yeah. Buster Bunny!
Yeah, it's perfect.
But everybody else that I've said that to was just like, who the fuck is Buster Bunny? I'm like, yeah, Tiny Toon Adventures!
It's so weird, right? Because when Tiny Toons came out, it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Steven Spielberg presents Tiny Toon Adventures. Steven Spielberg was going to bring the Looney Tunes back to us all. And we got Tiny Toon Adventures, and we got Animaniacs, which was also fucking brilliant. I feel like Animaniacs has had more staying power in recent years than Tiny Toons. And I can see that, because Tiny Toons, it was fun, but it was also, I think, more juvenile in a weird kind of way. It was more derivative of, I think is what I mean, of Looney Tunes. Whereas Animaniacs was more original.
Yeah.
And then we got my personal favorite, Freakazoid.
Yes.
Freakazoid is amazing, and one day I am going to cosplay Freakazoid, and it's going to be great.
So
you should be Freakazette.
What I want to do before the stream gets going is I want to chat source some Buster costumes after the police come get us.
Yeah. Hey, Buster didn't go nuts. That's great.
No.
Good work,
Buster,
buddy.
He's sleeping. Yeah. I'm not sure how many more pug puns I have left in me. I was going to do Buster Brown, which is that horrific child from the old ads, but I wasn't sure anybody would get it. I was going to do Shia LaBeouf. But I didn't know how to do that. That was my first idea.
Yeah, that's hard.
Like, how do you make it look like...
it's a good pun, but how do you visually represent it? Unless you give, like... Okay, he wears a green screen that he just carries around behind him, and, like, a t-shirt that says, "Just do it!"
And I was also going to do the Baba Boof.
Oh, yeah.
The Babadook.
Yeah.
Or the Buster Duke, whatever you want to call it.
Which I also just saw recently.
Yes.
The Babadook, which was really good. I think for me the scariest part is the book the designs in the book. Like, that freaked me out pretty much more than anything else in that movie.
We are going to talk about scary movies too.
Yeah. I've watched a bunch of scary movies. Not by choice, because I am a scaredy cat. But I hold a weekly movie night at my place and have since about 2008. So it's been running for... What's 15 minus 8? Is it 7? Something like that?
Yes.
Yes. It's been running for about 7 years now.
It's really sad that both of us had to pause.
Oh, God, my brain hurts! Don't force math out of it! So I've had this movie night going for about 7 years now, which is loads of fun. It's every Thursday at my place, and every October we just do nothing but horror movies in honor of Halloween. And then on Halloween, either day or, like, for my Halloween party, I do an all-day...
oh my God, Pugsley Adams! How did I not think of that? Laserbeaks, you're fucking brilliant.
Bravo.
Okay, so sorry. Before we get too into anything else, I was gonna try to chat source some either Buster, Pug, or Boof puns from you guys to do another one following up that, or in lieu of actually coming up with puns, I could just dress them up as whatever the hell you wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna do today. And then, if that falls flat or it doesn't take enough time, maybe we'll work on Lapis or let Geoff draw something. So, go nuts, chat. Help me out.
The world is our oyster, and we don't have a shellfish allergy.
I like Pugsley Adams, though. I'm gonna
Pugsley's great. I was just watching Addams Family the other day, by which I mean this morning, before Bruncheon and Dragons.
Yes. I do want you to talk about the movie It Follows.
It Follows!
Because that's a movie that I haven't seen it yet, but on his recommendation, I'm now super...
Yeah, we just watched It Follows at movie night this past Thursday, and it was really great. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed the premise. For those of you who don't know, It Follows is about basically a curse. There's a creature that follows you. It follows you at a walking pace, and if it catches you, it kills you. And the way you pass on this curse, like the way you get rid of it so it stops following you and the creature starts following someone else, is you have to have sex with somebody. So it's essentially a curse that's also an STD.
Yes, and that's how I've heard it described, and that's why I avoided it, because everybody was just like, it's a ghost that follows you by STD, sexual transmission. Yeah. I'm just like, that sounds really dumb, I'm not watching this.
But it turns out really cool, the movie, and everyone, or a lot of people have said that it's very scary, and I could see that. I wasn't personally scared by it, which is weird, because I'm scared of everything. Like, horror movies freak me the fuck out, and yet... The two movies that, like, my friends have been absolutely certain would terrify me, The Ring and It Follows, didn't really do anything. But I still really liked it. Like, It Follows was really interesting. I think part of the problem with, for me, taking It Follows seriously enough to be scared by it is the fact that the premise itself has a certain inherent humor to it. You know, it's like, because... As soon as you know the rules, you start thinking of ways to get this curse away from you.
So there's more rules than what you just said, because he already explained this to me.
Yeah. Okay. The way it goes.
We don't know how it started.
Yeah. We don't get any history on this creature or what it is or why it's following you. All we know is that it follows you at a walking pace until it catches you, and then it kills you. And once you're dead, it starts following the last person in line. So whoever gave it to you, it's now following them. And it will continue so forth down the line until it has killed everyone with the curse, at which point we don't know what happens. It can look like anyone So it'll look like a stranger or someone you know, whatever helps it get close to you. No one else can see it unless they've also had the curse. So you can see it, whoever gave it to you can see it. If you give it to someone else, they will be able to see it too, and you will continue to be able to see it. So once you're cursed, you're in the loop, so you won't stop seeing it once you passed it on. So it's really interesting. Like, you can't reason with this thing. It doesn't talk. It makes shrieky noises sometimes, but that's pretty much it. And when it catches you, it'll basically it basically fucks you to death, which is weird, but and creepy. So, but I guess also in keeping with the themes of the film. But
the sexy.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, that's the thing too, is this movie isn't sexy. Like, the sex scenes that are in the movie are not hot.
Doesn't sound like it.
And I think that's obviously done on purpose, because that's one of the staples of especially 80s horror movies, is getting in the kind of TNA factor of, teenagers having sex and getting punished by, whatever. Same kind of deal here.
I love how they dealt with that in Cabin in the Woods, by the way.
Yeah. So, I don't want to give too much of the movie away. Like, I don't want to tell you how it ends or, whatnot. But certainly, while watching the movie, a bunch of us were coming up with various scenarios for how we would get rid of the curse or whatnot. Or at least try to save ourselves from the curse. I think the best one we came up with was finding the most most prolific person of the evening in.
Sorry, Outpost 31. I'll show you the old ones that I've done. I've already done Ghostbuster. Well, there's one fruit fly in this room and it's driving me crazy. Sorry, I'll show you the first two that I've done so that there's no repeats. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So the plan we came up with was finding the most prolific sex worker in Vegas. You pass it on to them, and then they're immediately going to pass it on to someone else, like, within an hour. And that someone else is probably flying in, so they're going to fly away. The creature is going to follow that person, and once it kills them, it's going to start going back for the sex worker in Las Vegas, who is immediately going to be passing it on to someone else before the creature ever gets close to being back in Vegas. And so long as this person has gainful employment, the creature's just going to be walking back and forth. Once they retire, though, I don't know. Who can say?
I also want to know what happens after, like, when it goes back down the line. Like, let's say that no one passes it along for X amount of time and it goes back down. Like, eventually, it's going to... That person who passed it along has died.
Yeah, eventually the line is going to end because
I haven't even seen the movie, and I want to know the lore, and I want to know what the sequel's about.
Well, that's one of the fun things about the movie is, like, you want to know, but you never find out. Like I say, really fun movie. I think under the proper viewing conditions, it would be very scary, but it wasn't for me. One, because the inherent goofiness of that kind of
Blockbuster.
Oh,
Night
really
Alien.
Good. That's a very old-fashioned
You
kind
guys,
of costume.
I don't know how I would do that, but I'll figure it out.
He could be like the sign or something, or he could be a video cassette. Like,
yes. The old fucking Blockbuster cassette cover.
Exactly. I think, like, the other thing that keeps me from getting super scared by this movie is the fact that, it's not something I can picture having happen to me. Like, it's not like, your Friday the 13th or your Nightmare on Elm Streets where, like, the only criteria for the creature coming after you is that you know how to fall asleep or you know how to go to summer camp. I know how to do both of those things. So, Jason or Freddy could easily get me. But this thing, I don't have sex with random people. So it's never going to happen to me, and as such, I'm safe because this thing doesn't kill indiscriminately. It only kills people in line. So, yeah, hard to be scared of something is never going to like happen to you. Mm-hmm. Like, beyond the it's not going to happen because it's fucking fake. But really good movie, so you should definitely watch it. Were we going to talk about another horror movie, or were we going to? Because if not, there's Star Wars stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars.
Did somebody say Star Wars? Because we could talk about Star Wars. Well, I'm so glad someone brought it up. So today...
Sorry, someone needs to remember all these brilliant things. I'm not watching the chat. So after I'm done this, I'm going to try and figure out Blockbuster after I'm done this.
Oh, Zeke, we were talking about a movie called It Follows. Horror movie. Check it out. Really good. Star Wars. Not what we were talking about, but what we're talking about now. The new Star Wars poster came out today. There's stuff to talk about in the poster. I'm looking at it on my little screen right now. I'm sure if any of you want to see it, you can pull it up on your computers with a very quick Google search.
Figure out how to work the Google on the internet machine.
Yeah, I'm confident in all of you and your abilities to Google. Just don't do what I did when I first tried to pull this up on my phone and Google The Force Unleashed, because that is not the name of the movie, it is The Force Awakens. Yes, let's talk about the new maybe Death Star, Laserbeak. I don't know. There's this thing in the background of this poster that looks Death Star-esque. Death Star-ish. Other way to say that. It's unclear in this poster whether it's a... like what the scale technically is on this, but it certainly does give the impression of being another, kind of planet-sized super weapon. And pardon me. Thank you, Buster. So, other things happening on this poster is a very distinct lack of Luke Skywalker. Now, I mean, we know he's in the movie, but he's not on this final poster here. We've got Luke...
They're trolling you.
Oh, of course they are. I think it's largely because they haven't given us any revelation as to the nature of what's been going on with Luke at all. Like, we've gotten a little bit of Han and Chewie, and we've gotten a little bit of Leia, but all we've had of Luke is a bit of that voiceover. We don't know what's happening with Luke. Mm-hmm. We only know he has a beard because we've seen pictures of Mark Hamill with a beard. That's it. And who knows, maybe he grew that beard for JJ to throw us all off the scent. I wouldn't put it past them.
The bastards.
I know. So there's no Luke on this poster. We do get Rey and Finn, and there's been a lot of speculation online about the nature of Rey's staff, which I haven't really been following much, but there are a lot of people that seem convinced that Rey's staff is somehow related to the Sith. I don't know. I thought it was just some kind of staff, but I don't know. Maybe there's something to it, because in this poster, Rey's staff is shown basically lined up exactly with Kylo Ren's red lightsaber. So the blade of Kylo Ren's lightsaber and Rey's staff are essentially like so close together that they're joined. So who knows? Maybe there's something to the whole Sith staff rumor that's been floating around. I don't know. I don't partake in rumors that much because I don't want to be spoiled. We got Finn with the blue lightsaber that we saw in the last little trailer clip that StarWars.com released on their Instagram a little while ago, about 7 weeks ago.
I'm so happy you know that.
Oh yeah, I'm all over this. We get BB-8 and C-3PO and R2 are in here. There's Captain Phasma up front with 2 stormtroopers flanking behind her, and there's we got some Star Destroyers or new Star Destroyers, and we get the Millennium Falcon being chased. So in terms of like story information here, oh yeah, we got some new X-Wings in there too. I don't know if there's a lot we can dig out of this. I think I've dug about as far as one could reasonably dig into this without making some really large leaps. But what do you all think? The last trailer releases tomorrow during halftime of the football game tomorrow, and then after that trailer, tickets go on sale, which is exciting.
Watch the football?
God no. But I am going to be camping on the on the Cineplex website in order to buy my tickets. And the tickets of the people that had paid me to get theirs.
I know that Mia is as well.
Ooh.
As I saw on her Facebook earlier. You all remember Mia.
I remember Mia.
I miss Mia.
Me too.
I have never actually been in that position to like camp tickets. I did go to Transformers and stand outside for 3 hours before the movie opened, and boy was that a mistake.
Oh man, I've got pictures of when I was camped out for episode 1. Like, because I camped out for 3 days for episode 1 at University Heights.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was not worth it. But I do have photos of that if I can find them. I'll do that slowly while we talk about stuff. I'm excited for the new movie.
I think I should take off his knee socks. I don't think it translates well. It looks like he's wearing hugger boots.
It does look like he's wearing boots. Mm-hmm. I thought you were drawing boots, actually. When
he's got knee socks and black shoes is the thing, right? Like.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think...
Buster.
Yeah.
Buster's softly snoring in the background for this stream. There we go. Pugsley Adams.
That's nice. I like it.
Save.
Oh, he could be like, I mean, it's probably not worth doing, but you could have him holding a stop sign in his mouth, like in that scene from the movie when Pugsley stole the stop sign, and there was that car crash.
I've had a lot of trouble with, I've been trying not to redraw anything, so it's the same Buster model throughout all of them. But I tried really hard for, in the last comic I showed you guys, the Pugwin for the penguin. Mm-hmm. I tried really hard to incorporate an umbrella into that, just to to really drill it home. And I tried taping it to his side, or having it lean up against him, or just one drop to the background. It all looked really dumb. So
that's fair.
Damn it! I will get that fruit fly, you guys. I swear to God.
Zeke, I did see the Jar Jar edit of that poster. People asking, what do you think the JJ and JJ Abrams stands for? Obviously, Jar Jar. It was pretty good. The Photoshop job was pretty decent. So let's see. Boof the Magic Dragon as opposed to Puff the Magic Dragon. That's not bad.
Not bad.
It's stretching it a little bit, but I think Boof and Poof.
Oh God.
Close.
So I almost don't even want to show it. I googled Pugsley Adams, and one of the first things that comes up where it has the different. Fuck! You bastard! Where it has the different categories at the top, where it's the costume, the character. Has a thing of Pugsley costumes, and there's a normal Pugsley costume, and then Sexy Wednesday Addams, which is not okay to me.
No, definitely not.
Because God forbid there's a normal.
That's terrible. Sexy costume. Everything now.
Sexy everything.
I don't understand it.
Neither do I. They've gotten a little bit better, and honestly, I've just started instead of differentiating it with damn it. Men's and women's costumes, I've just started going with the normal and the sexy version. Don't even put the gender to it. But I don't buy store-bought costumes anymore.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've since I haven't made my own. Although this year...
I guess it's him wearing a sandwich board with a Blockbuster thing on either side, hey?
You could do that. I have... this year I did buy my costume because I'm going as Alf. And there's a really great Alf costume online. It's the full-on... it's a full-body suit, and it's very warm. Also, it sheds.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, after I took off the mask, because my hair was short enough, or long enough that it's at this kind of Velcro stage, I was pulling Alf hair out of my off my head for 20 minutes. It was gross.
Chat, what are you guys going as for Halloween?
Yeah, hey guys, what are you doing for Halloween? For the Halloween.
I want to know. This is relevant to my interests. I got my Riddler cane. Can you get my Riddler cane?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And my tie. Ooh.
Funk. Here you are.
I'm going as the Riddler. So I got my Riddler tie, and I bought a bunch of purple and green shit at Value Village the other day. And here's my Riddler cane. I'm super excited.
It's very cool.
Oh, Mia's in the chat!
Hey, Mia!
She's going as a Asami. Yeah, you should link your. I saw the glove that you made. Mia made a friggin' Asami glove.
I saw that.
It's amazing.
You're gonna be the last hairbender. It's awesome.
But Brad's going as Hush with me.
Cool.
Although when I do next week, which I believe we have Jess for next week.
Oh, cool.
Sorry, guys, we were supposed to have Anthony today, and he's nursing a migraine.
I guess, we had a really intense round of Luncheon and Dragons earlier today, so I guess
Did his character die? Is he sad?
No, he was fine. We were all fine, actually.
I was kind of hoping that he was just moping because
he's just really sad. No, that is not the case. He's fine. So I guess it must have come on him after D&D.
Mm-hmm.
As happens.
But yeah, I talked to Jess today, and she couldn't make it today, but possibly next week.
I can't find any pictures of me in line for episode 1, but I did find a picture of me as Mario. When
show that camera.
Oh, okay, I'll see if I can... big... sorry, give me a second here.
Usernamer eMatch is going as a Staples employee during the day, and then a guy who stays at home and procrastinates his thesis at night.
Nice.
How inventive.
Alright, this is me and my buddy as Mario and Luigi, and it's not really going to show up good on here because the screen is reflective.
But it's super good.
It was a good costume. Foley's taller than me and skinny, so he made a really good Luigi to my Mario.
Sinister Duck's going as a rock star for Halloween, like every year. Everybody go check out Mia's glove. I'm going to put on it too. Yes.
So cool.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I heard Brad approve from the other room too.
Yeah.
Or, he's doing homework like a good student.
So, other Star Wars stuff.
Other Star Wars
stuff is Star Wars Rebels is running again. So, the second episode of Season 2 ran just this past week. Although, if you
Is it username rematch? Sorry, I'm really bad when...
Yeah, username rematch.
Is that a reference? I'm sorry.
Username... whatever changes his username every so it's been username something else and username something else previous.
I'm really dumb, you guys. Sorry.
But Rebels has just come back, and weirdly, I don't know if any of you have been to the Wikipedia for Rebels, but it pisses me off, so I'm going to vent to you guys about it. Because for some reason on the episode guide there, they list episode 1 of season 1 as a film, so it doesn't count as episode 1. It's its own entity, and then the second episode of season 1 they call episode 1. And they've done the same thing with season 2. The season premiere of season 2 was called The Siege of Lothal. They premiered it at Star Wars Celebration. I was there. I saw it.
I know what happened.
I know it happened. Dave Filoni came on stage and told us this is the season premiere of season 2. But according to the Wikipedia, it's a film, and the second episode of season 2, The Lost Commanders, is episode 1 of season 2. And it pisses me off so bad. And I've actually, out of spite, gone on to Wikipedia and edited it a number of times to fix it. But they always change it back because, the people who run Wikipedia are assholes sometimes. Not like me, a person who's only interested in truth and justice.
In the name of the moon.
In the name of the moon. Alas. So I'd like to encourage anyone and everyone to go to the Wikipedia and edit their damn Rebels page until they stop changing it back to the first episode of each season being a film, because they're totally not, no matter how much they want them to be films. You know how I know it's not a film? Let me tell you how I know.
Tell me how you know, Geoff.
Listen, because
dying
the season 1 box, the season 1 Blu-ray release includes the Spark of Rebellion as episode 1 of season 1.
Yep, I know what
The
that
Clone
is.
Wars does not include the Clone Wars movie in its season 1 box set because the Clone Wars movie was actually a goddamn movie that played in the theater. And like they'll claim that that the first Rebels episode also had a theatrical release, but we're not counting a limited theatrical release as a theatrical release.
Of course not.
If we did that, then we would have to count any time, Doctor Who premiered an episode at the theater as a movie and not an episode.
It'd be chaos.
And we don't do that because that's dumb.
Chaos.
Yeah. Everybody, like, just go to Wikipedia, not right now, but soon. Like,
stay here and talk to
like
us
at around
first.
9 or so. 9. Like, round about the time this ends.
Just pulling a random number
Yeah,
out of the air.
I don't know, like, in maybe an hour and 30 minutes. In 90 minutes, I suggest you all go to Wikipedia and make sure that they're not doing this nonsense of making those things films. For justice and not for me.
In the name of the moon.
In the name of the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Rebels season 2 is really good, and I'm really excited for more of it.
Did I miss any good Halloween costumes?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because I was so angry at Wikipedia. Oh man.
Yes, Dr. Mia. Mia is talking about Star Wars tickets.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be camping on the Cineplex website for those. I'm going to be buying tickets for a bunch of people. I don't know how many tickets you're allowed to buy at one go, though. Like there's no information. So hopefully I'll be able to get all the tickets that people have given me money for. Okay, Great God Sephiroth. Geoff doing that reminds me of that ramen commercial with the 40-some-year-old guy in the Senshi uniform. I haven't seen that commercial, but it sounds great. Like, it sounds really good. So, like, would you like a peek into, like, the tragedy that is my life recently? Because it's pretty great. I don't eat ramen much.
Okay, I thought you were about to say, like, I don't eat ever, and I'm like, but
yeah.
you need food to live.
No, I did recently buy some Mr. Noodles because, like, I was running low on cash and I needed stuff that I could that was cheap. So a little while ago, I go to make some Mr. Noodles, and it's so late, and I'm so tired, and I just can't be bothered to boil water. So I just kind of break up the Mr. Noodles inside the bag, open it up, dump out the Mr. Noodles into a bowl, take the flavor packet, sprinkle it over the noodles, and then eat them raw.
Okay. First of all, that's delicious.
Yeah, and that's the real tragedy of this. I like it better this way, and now that's the only way I'm eating Mr. Noodles.
I will not have you downplaying that. It's fucking delicious, and anybody who says that it's not has clearly never tried it or done it right.
I just feel like human garbage doing that at 3 in the morning. I'm just like, ugh.
I'm not gonna lie, it's like the unhealthiest, crappiest thing that you can put in your
so
body.
So salty.
It's all just like empty carbohydrates and sodium. That's it. That's all it's made of. But it's delicious, and we all put garbage things in our body.
It's really
I'm drinking
good.
wine right now.
It's really good that way, and yeah, I feel bad, but like that's the way I'm eating it now.
Second of all, if you really do want to make a fancy tasting ramen without actually going out to a ramen place, if you get the Ichiban noodles, which are slightly more expensive.
Yes.
By 29 cents.
You and you rich folk.
You put it
fancy noodles.
Put it in a pot. You make it on the stove. You put in just enough water to make the entire brick of noodles float. Boil it. Once the noodles are broken up and you put the flavor packet in, put in a generous squirt of sriracha. Mix it around. Crack 2 eggs into it. Wait until the eggs are poached, and then pour it into a bowl that has a bunch of chopped green onion. Tastes like heaven, and
Nice.
It tastes like it came from a professional ramen shop.
Nice, I'll have to try that. I mean, I won't because I'm really lazy, as
And that's
evidenced by
also
the fact,
delicious.
as evidenced by the fact that this is how I eat Mr. Noodles now. I cannot underplay the the depths of shame that I felt the first time I did that.
No.
Like, I really felt bad about myself when I did that.
See, just tell everybody that that's how you used to eat it when you were in grade school, and that it's a nostalgia thing, and it gives you a pass.
Absolutely. Totally a nostalgia thing.
Because you were the cool kid at recess in my elementary school if you had ramen for recess, because a lot of parents wouldn't give it to their kid because it's really, really unhealthy.
Yeah.
But if you had it, everybody was just like, can I have some? Can I have some? It was the best thing ever.
Man. So, yeah, I lead a really great life where I eat raw Mr. Noodles.
That's not as sad as you think it is, Geoff.
Yeah, just, sharing. Man. Steven Universe.
Yeah! How have we not talked about that?
There was Star Wars to be had.
There was so much Star Wars.
I couldn't not talk about Star Wars. In fact, we'll just push Steven Universe off for a little bit longer.
Oh, dear.
To talk. No, I'm just kidding. So, we've had some new episodes. 3 new episodes since the last time we talked?
I think so. Because the last time we talked, I was bitching about, give me something about Peridot. And then, wrap it up.
Yeah, all of a sudden we got a whole bunch of Peridot.
And apparently, someone who works at Steven Universe was watching.
Oh, really?
Well, clearly, because they pulled those episodes together within a week of me saying that.
Obviously, then
that's what happened.
That makes total sense.
If you say
that wasn't just how the production worked out. Perfect. We got a whole bunch of Peridot stuff going on, and that was cool. Upcoming Steven Universe spoilers.
Spoilers, yes.
Anyone?
I'll just write that up here.
Yeah. So,
And then I'll zoom in so you can't see it. I will take that down when we're done talking.
All right. So...
Okay, is it Peridot? Because that was how I was saying the word before Steven Universe came out, and I'm like, oh, I guess it is Peridot. I'll shut up.
I had no idea. I'd never heard of Peridot until Steven Universe, because I know dick all about gems.
I think a lot of kids, skipping you apparently, went through a gem phase, or a rock phase at least, when they were super young.
Really?
I did. I 100% did. I had a
There's
book.
a rock store near...
Jess was on the stream with a
she had a whole book.
Yeah.
I've known people that were into crystal stuff, but that was always more of a new agey kind of thing than it was a kid thing.
Oh, I was when I was 12, super into it. Maybe I'm just weird.
All right.
It's possible.
A Cayetana, if I'm saying that right, says it's Peridot and is a geology major. So I'm going to go with them.
Well.
Hooray!
And that's
even if that weren't the case, I'm going to say that Peridot is allowed to call herself that because she comes from a planet of gem people, and presumably she knows how to say her own name.
I should hope so.
So
I would also hope that the makers of the show looked into it.
It is just you username rematch. The episodes are all the same length. It just, so much is happening that it can feel kind of rushed. However, episodes of Gravity Falls are getting longer by cutting into the theme song time. They play truncated versions of the theme song to get to the show faster. Which
I appreciate.
I like, but I also hate because I love their theme song so much that hearing a truncated version of it makes me physically angry. I'm just no! I want my whole damn song!
Okay, Steven Universe.
Okay.
On track.
Okay, I'm gonna try, because a lot of stuff just happened with Gravity Falls too, and it was amazing!
Talk about that afterwards.
Okay. Are you caught up with Gravity Falls? Have you been watching Gravity Falls?
I haven't, but I'm gonna let you talk about it after that.
I'm not gonna talk about it in front of you. Okay. God damn it, jeez. Jeepers H cookies.
You guys.
Alright. I know, lady. Thrimble Trimmer. I'm never sure how... Lady. That's good enough. Lady. Yes, the Gravity Falls theme is fantastic.
Are you sure Mia's not in the chat right now, Q Monster?
Mia, don't look at the chat for a little bit longer. I'll tell you when you can look again. As soon as that's... And then once you look again, don't scroll up.
Okay, so
Peridot.
The cluster.
Yeah. We find out what the cluster is. Peridot's been captured by the crystal gems, and Steven is essentially, working his Steven-y magic on her to win her over, and it seems to be working. Like, she's becoming less of a dickwad, like, little bit. Little bit.
As we go along. Also, if you watch the stream, you may recall Ash saying something to the effect of, everything Ronaldo says is correct.
Yep.
This backs that up. The hollowing out the earth.
Yep, totally.
So, I still 110% believe that snake people are going to be a thing.
Sneeple. So, there's a lot going on with Peridot, and
I hope she joins. the Crystal Gems.
I'm sure that's probably where we're heading. Mm-hmm. But who knows, because, we've got, Yellow Diamond coming eventually, and who knows whether Yellow Diamond will, quote-unquote, liberate Peridot or not.
Which he's still clearly loyal to.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how amazing that robot episode was?
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, the robot was loads of fun. I really liked Pearl and how she's starting to really accept that she's a Pearl and owning it.
Yes, and we have confirmation that there are many pearls.
Yeah, we're getting that, and amethyst too.
Amethyst.
And I have a theory about that actually, because there are a number of upcoming episode titles.
That's what I did want to talk about. So the impression that I got from that episode was that Amethyst was meant to be basically in the cluster, and that they forgot about her, and that's where the overcooked thing comes from. That was the impression I got. They haven't flat out said it yet.
I think there might be another Amethyst out there, because you know how, like, all of the other holes that Amethysts had been coming out of were up higher, and she was, like, down low, so, like, she'd been in too long. If you look in the background, there's another one that's down low, like, that at ground level. And there are a number of episode titles coming up, like Steven versus Amethyst, and whip action and stuff, that... I'm wondering whether it's not our Amethyst, but an Amethyst.
That'd be cool.
Who knows?
I'm really waiting for that episode where they bring out the double of someone. And I'm actually super interested now to see if the whole placement of the gem, where it is on their body. I know we talked about this in a really early stream. I think it was actually before you came on the stream. With Jess about the significance of where their gems are placed on their body. And Peridot and Pearl both have their gems on their forehead, and both of them seem to basically do kind of the same thing. Like, they're very tech class.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if...
Oh, well, we did get our answer about, how come, Pearl is a crystal gem but not a gem. And... how Peridot just basically flat out tells us, the hierarchy, true gems outrank non-gems. So,
Great God Sephiroth says he sees Yellow Diamond showing up with a new Peridot.
Oh, yeah.
And telling her she's nothing. I like that. I hope that happens.
Yeah, that
I'm just
that would make total sense.
I'm just going to read the chat now instead of drawing.
Yeah, I'll be interested to learn more about how things work on Homeworld, but, I mean, clearly, there are gems and then gem-like things, like Pearl and whatnot. So, clearly their class structure back there is at least partially based on whether you're a true gem or whether you're essentially a manufactured, gem-like item. I don't know. Yeah, Homeworld does sound really oppressive, Night Valiant.
Well, there's the theory running around that I've seen pop up, actually, after, I think I mentioned something about it on my tinfoil hat theory day, that Fusion, while they are experimenting with it for war purposes, is seen as perverse in Homeworld. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got into that in the most recent episode, Too Far, where Peridot's like, could you unfuse in front of me? It makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the episode is about it's about Peridot learning lessons about cooperation and stuff. But on a more metaphorical level, the episode is clearly about like sexism and homophobia and racism and stuff.
Classism.
Classism. All sorts of ugly isms.
Yeah.
Which is, really interesting, and I like how they handle that.
And super brilliant, and like describing it in a way that it's very, very obvious to adults, but to kids, it's just teaching them to not do the thing. Yeah, precisely.
And I liked that, they, Peridot initially didn't know what being funny was, but once she knows what it is...
Yeah.
Then she wants to be that because she likes the reaction she gets out of the only gem she's interested in, which being Amethyst.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, hurts Amethyst's feelings and doesn't understand how that works because she doesn't get these things yet. So, great episode. The apology is quite good.
I love when she stopped calling them clods.
Yeah.
She called
running out of way to say clods.
Super cute.
Yeah.
Garnet has been happier recently, and I really do think that it's Sapphire seeing something in the future that's going to be really horrible and being like, let's be happy while we still can be happy.
Could be. I think there's just a lot going on with everything, too. Like, she's happier with Pearl now, because Pearl is starting to figure her shit out. Steven's coming along very nicely, You'll notice that weird let's force happiness thing happened the second, what was the one where they got the message from Lapis, when Greg uses the message. Yeah, the message. My name is Ash. Where everyone starts freaking out about it, and she's just like, whew, we did it, that look on her face right beforehand, I'm just like, what's gonna happen, mm-hmm.
It's gonna be bad. What else can we talk about from those episodes? Let's get all our Steven Universe spoilers and chat out now.
Let's see. Lady says that she thinks Peridot didn't have a homophobic reaction to Garnet's fusion, but that's more of a... since fusion is a battle thing, that's more like an open carry activist kind of thing. I can see that interpretation. I think that fusion has been... very much in the series a metaphor for relationships, mm-hmm. and while it's used as a battle thing for on Homeworld, I think the overriding message of it in the series so far has been relationship based. But we have to take these metaphors based on us and not them. So certainly Peridot isn't having a quote-unquote homophobic reaction because, for all we know, every gem is female, so it's not...
genderless.
Or genderless, however you want to look at it, but so it's not technically a thing. But as it applies to us, it's a, it's a metaphor for, relationships that we don't approve of. And, I think that would fall into, a kind of homophobic light in this instance, but certainly that's a totally valid.
Well, and going off of the metaphor of relationships, like looking at it physically as well, when you are in a fusion, you are literally a different being.
Yeah.
Like, you're no longer talking to Ruby and Sapphire. You're talking to Garnet, who is a product of Ruby and Sapphire, but her own being, right? So
we're still kind of figuring out fusion because, when fused, you still have the two voices are still separate as well, too. As far as internal monologue goes, like when Steven is Stevani, the two of them are talking to each other, but speak as one voice when they're actually talking. And ditto, Lapis and Jasper, they talk out loud to each other, mm-hmm. in fused form. So it's a little unclear as exactly how a fusion works in terms of whether it's a complete fusion of the two, where they become like a different entity entirely, or whether it's both at the same time. Where
we didn't really see, because all we saw when she's Malachite, or when they are Malachite, all we saw was Lapis's powers. We didn't see any Malachite powers. So I'm wondering if, like, it's possible... I mean, you also saw Garnet in 2 episodes now. You've seen Ruby and Sapphire talking to each other while fused.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if, like, unless they're perfectly synced, they can't use the fusion weapon, and they can't actually be the fusion, even though they're still technically fused.
Yeah.
And as we've seen with Malachite, one of them can refuse to let go.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little bit confused about, because as we've seen in Giant Woman,
Yeah.
the second anyone loses focus, they split.
Yeah.
So,
but that could just be how unstable that fusion was to
or
begin
how much
with.
they really don't want to be fused.
Exactly.
In the first
You
place.
know, like Pearl and Amethyst are
They only
such diametric opposites.
fuse out of necessity.
Exactly. That their fusion is, you know, inherently unstable and hard to maintain, and neither one of them really wants to maintain it longer than they have to.
It's interesting. All these questions.
I'm sure we'll, you know, get answers as the series goes on, and I look forward to that. That'll be fun.
I'm just really happy that we finally got story episodes. Like, I really did enjoy... I do enjoy all Steven Universe episodes. They're all super cute. There's no episode that I've been like, oh, this one, you know? But,
Yeah.
after X amount of, like, we're gonna be cute and show you some backstory of people in the town, I'm like, I want to see what's happening with the Gem War.
Laserbeak, I don't think we've seen Stevani's fusion weapon as of yet. I don't know. We saw a really great piece of fan art recently that showed Stevani wielding Steven's shield and the sword. And I think since Connie doesn't have any weapons of her own, that their fusion is probably just going to have Steven's regular weapons.
I think that Garnet's fusion weapon actually is just 2 gauntlets, because Ruby's only had 1 that we've seen. I don't know if that's a choice, just like she just needed the 1 to slam the table.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen Sapphire with a gauntlet yet, so I'm wondering if their fusion weapon is just 2, and that the weapon thing is actually something to be discussed, because although Sapphire has powers, she hasn't been shown to have a weapon yet. And
we haven't seen her weapon yet,
and
unless her
Peridot,
weapon is future vision.
Yes, and Peridot also doesn't have a weapon unless it's telekinesis with her crazy finger things, right?
Username rematch. I too loved it when Garnet gave Steven that heart hand sign.
Yes,
super
cute.
Before. Steven and Garnet's relationship, I have said many times, is my favorite part of the series.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I enjoy more than watching Garnet and Steven together, because they're great.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff happening on Steven Universe, and I can't believe that we don't get any more until 2016 now.
What?
Yep.
I thought it was just a couple months. That's bullshit.
2016 is a couple months. It's...
Sorry, a couple weeks.
No, it's...
I've had some wine, you guys. I have no concept of time. I'm like a dog.
We don't get any more
you.
until 2016 now, so presumably January, I hope. I hope not later into 2016. Sorry, Zeke.
Sorry,
I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Steven Universe spoiler, sorry.
No, it's 2016, so that's a bummer. I'm sad about that.
You should write them a letter.
Apparently, I have dropped this bombshell on people very unprepared for it, and I'm very sorry.
I'm unprepared for it as well.
I assure you, I felt the same
it's
way
all
when
your
I
fault,
heard.
Jeff. We're shooting the messenger.
This was my decision, guys. Listen,
Jeff wrote them a letter.
They wanted to just keep putting them out like weekly now, and I said no, guys. Here's what you do. You put out 3 episodes, you get people really excited for the direction you're going, and then nothing till 2016.
So what we've learned today is that Jeff is the worst.
I'm the literal worst.
The worst.
Great. I'm gonna get banned. Son of a bee.
He's on the stream.
Oh, man. Yeah,
I didn't know how to do that.
Brad's just gonna come in here and just take me out.
Go.
Like he's just gonna chloroform me and pull me out of here.
Sorry, Brad has been playing through Metal Gear Solid 5, and I
don't
know how many of you guys have, but
I've watched a lot of it.
Have you seen the Fulton thing?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so while you're taking people out, you don't just have to murder people and you don't just have to sneak by them. It's it's the first free world roaming Metal Gears. I haven't played any of them. I need to tell you this. I've seen a lot of them played, but I have not actually played them.
I'm really excited to try it out because of how open world it is. Because like you literally can approach these towns and whatnot from like any direction you want and any style you want.
It's really weird though, because I watched him play the opening, and the opening, like a lot of Metal Gears as I've come to know, is really weird.
Yeah.
And then you just go into this very almost mundane, like, you know, you're just gonna run missions.
Yeah, it's a very strange thing with Metal Gear, because they can't decide whether they want to be super ridiculous or super serious.
But of course they have like the classic, like, you know, you can hide in the box, blah blah blah, and like there's the ridiculous things that what's his fuck? What's his name? Brad, help me out. You're not even watching, are you? Brad's doing homework right now.
The name of who?
The creator of Metal Gear.
Oh, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, that's the one. You know, he just, like, puts these random-ass things in all of his games. And I love it. I do love it. Now that I understand, because before I just thought it was, like, you know, a very military simulator game, but now that I know how ridiculous they are, I'm like, this is actually kind of brilliant. Still don't really want to play it, but
the impression I get a lot of the time is that Hideo Kojima really wanted to be a filmmaker, but didn't hack it, so he's a video game maker. But
interesting fact about Metal Gear Solid 5, every single mission is put together by a different team, so every time you do one mission, the credits roll for that one mission.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
and his name is, like, everywhere.
So there's a Fulton extraction thing in it. You have this, like, big mother base home that's in the middle of the ocean that you have on platforms and stuff. And you need a team for it, right? So you start off with X amount on your team, but as you go through, you get to scan the people, the enemies. And if they have, like, you know, oh, this one can translate this language, he's useful to our mission.
You can steal
You
them.
knock him out, and then you attach a remote-controlled parachute to him.
Yeah.
And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen, because this poor guy
they float there for a second, and then they get,
like,
goes,
woo! And every time you leave the mission... I did see D-Doge, yes, I love him. We haven't seen him grow up yet. He can't quite make it into the helicopter. You find a puppy on a mission, and you bring him back to base, and eventually he gets big enough that he can go on the missions with you. But he just got big enough that he's trying to get on the helicopter, and he's not quite big enough. It's really cute. I have to admit, like, when he started playing the open world part, I'm like, this is really boring. And then, I think yesterday morning, he started playing through a mission, and it just happened to be that one mission that gave you a little bit more story, and then all of a sudden, like, fire zombies come out of nowhere, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I thought this was just an extraction thing in Afghanistan.
It's the Metal Gear Solid universe is bonkers, because, you know, a lot of the time it's just kind of very straight up military shit, but then, all of a sudden, you know, psychic people, and, you know, weird, you know, monster things.
I have noticed that, Night Valiant, when you rescue people by Fultoning them, they're like, ha ha ha!
Everyone's just like, wee! It kind of undercuts the tone of what's going on. Also, I like the drops, like the supply drops, and if you don't move, they drop on you. Or if you're on your horse when you call it, and then get off your horse, you can just stand there and watch until your drop package knocks your horse the fuck out.
If you don't, damn it, so close. If it doesn't break when it hits the ground, you can jump into the box, and then you're just inside the box, and then it goes like a flower opening, and you just have all the stuff. There's a lot of things about the game I have to admit. Like I respect the amount of cool shit that was put into it. I still really don't want to play it.
I want to try it out because, like, I like that you can really approach the game any way you want. Like, you can play it super stealth, or you can play it run and gun, whatever suits you at any given time. So, to me, that there's a potential for a lot of replay value there. You know, like, you go through the game once just in super stealth mode, or you can play through the game in, like, you know, fucking Rambo God mode.
Brad looked up a list not too long I think it was like 2 days ago as well, about some genius broke down the price of video games in relative to their replay value. And I think it was The Witcher 3 was number one, like the amount of hours that you get out of the gameplay versus how much you paid for it. The Witcher 3 was number one. Metal Gear was number 2, and GTA 5 was number 3. And those are the 2 games that he's played most recently, GTA and Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I'm glad we got those ones.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, we have gotten our money's worth with Arkham Knight, because Brad just played through the entire thing as well, and that game is still awesome. Like,
video games, like, now versus when I was a kid, or even in my early 20s, are much different than they had been, like, mainly because of DLC. Because you remember back in the day when you would go and pay $60 for a game and you got the entire game, whereas now you go and you pay $60 for a game and you get, part of the game, but then there's all this downloadable content that you can pay for that gives you the rest of the game.
Yeah, you get enough game to kind of see it.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that particular model. I mean, granted, it's working for them because people are dumb enough to pay, but, like, what can you do? Back to Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Because Star Wars Battlefront has been big on the internets this past week because of the beta going live, and a lot of people playing it. I'm not one of them, because I don't have the fancy system to play it on, nor did I, try to sign up to play. I don't know. I've never liked the Battlefront series, because that's just not my kind of game. I don't like the way Battlefront does space battles. And I'm not much of a ground combat, first-person shooter except over the shoulder. I don't know what the name for that is, but whatever the name is, it's not really my preferred type of gameplay. I'm more of a platformer, puzzle-solving adventure thing as opposed to just running and shooting.
Speaking of which, I just replayed through Kingdom Hearts, or I
cool.
am about to end my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts. All I have left to do is beat the game / beat Sephiroth.
I bought the HD remix of Kingdom Hearts for PS3.
Oh, I wish you'd told me. I was
I'm sorry.
bitching that I didn't have it. No, I didn't ask anybody. I
I bought it about...
Spoiler tag's still on.
Huh?
Oh, the spoiler tag. Yeah, we can get rid of that.
Are you coming to Ether, Geoff, and take him away?
Is that what's happening?
Hold him.
He's going shh, as he pulls me out. Yeah, I bought it several months, or maybe longer. I bought it maybe 6 months ago in order to play through it, and I haven't yet. So it's like sitting in my place, waiting for me to get to it.
It's calling to you.
Well, I bought it specifically so that me and my friend Christine could play through it, because my friend Christine is also a big fan of...
Did you get the second one?
No, I just bought the first one.
I
figured I'd buy the second one once we'd played through the first one.
I'm bound and determined to play through the second one in the HD remix versus playing through this garbage one.
I've never gotten through the second one.
I got 2 hours into the first one before I threw the controller away in frustration.
I know, right?
Bullshit.
I rented the second one, and I played it for 2.5 hours, and then the title card showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, are you fucking shitting me? Have I just sunk 2.5 hours into this game, and I'm now at the beginning?
Yep.
Got to be kidding me.
Half the problem is there's a lot of storyline to do with Chain of Memories, which I'm going to sound like a really idiotic gamer right now. I say that in quotations because I don't really consider myself a big gamer. But I bought Chain of Memories when it came out, which is the GBA one.
Yeah.
Which explains what the fuck happens in between 1 and 2. And I got 40 minutes into it before I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea. There's been no explanation. The tutorial for this card game is bullshit.
I'm just such a... I'm so not a fan of card games.
Yeah. I was so upset when I figured out that's what it was. That I just saw Kingdom Hearts GBA. Done.
I know,
money.
The reason I didn't get that game is because it was a card game, because I was like, well, I love Kingdom Hearts, but I don't like card games, and part of me wants to like card games, because I would love to be able to play Magic with my friends, or, is there another one? I'm sure there's another card game. Pokemon?
Probably.
I don't want to play Pokemon. But, I want to be able to play that kind of game with people, but... don't like them very much.
Neither do I.
I just find them really boring.
Like I said,
And-
I retired undefeated after 2 rounds of Magic. 'cause
I don't
just
even like regular card games for the most part, you know? Like, someone wants to play poker? Nah. Go fish? Crazy Eights? Uno? Yeah, I'm all over that.
Uno.
Play some Uno. But, you know, as a general rule, I'm not a huge fan of card games.
It's actually break time.
Maybe I should try sometime. Okay, breaks.
We're gonna go on break for 5 or 6 minutes so we can use a washroom.
And when we return,
podcast.
I will have a lot more Star Wars to talk about, I am sure.
And we can continue talking about Kingdom Hearts too, because I can talk about that. Just saying.
Yeah, we can just talk about that forever.
For a little bit. We'll see you soon.
Hey,
guys.
everybody.
We just got a snack. Everything's
I'm eating.
fine.
It's not raw, Mr. Noodles.
But it's close.
It's close. It's a rice cake.
It's a caramel rice cake, and it's delicious.
Oh, good. Thank you.
What
by the way.
what movie should I feel like we should make the movie that has been rented a Buster pun as well. I'm thinking of making this one the Buster Boof.
How about Babe Pug in the City?
Or the Babadook. Babe Pug in the City.
Yeah? Because
He is a pug. and
He's
it
a
is-
pug.
I like it.
Winner.
So let me tell you about Kingdom Hearts.
Please do.
I don't know about you guys, but when Kingdom Hearts came out, I played the everlasting fuck out of that
I
game.
know, right? So good.
And a while back, I played the HD remake of Final Fantasy X, somewhat related. And while I was debating whether or not I should buy it,
The Good, the Bad, and the Pugly. I think that's.
that
think
wins.
Yeah. Screw Pug in the Sea. That's way better.
And only you guys are going to know that's what's written on it because it'll be
Yeah.
way too small in the comic.
We got another costume one, Babe Boof, as opposed to Babe Ruth. This is your chance to draw.
Was the movie called? Oh, I guess we could. Do
No, I think that's just
it's
like a costume
okay.
idea. Your chance to draw Buster as a baseball player.
Fat baseball player, yes. Excellent. So, my friend Kathleen, who you may know from Loading Ready Run.
Name dropper.
Yes. She, when I was debating whether or not to buy the HD remake of Final Fantasy X, she's just like, no, you have to do it. It looks exactly like you remember it looking like.
Oh, cool.
Because when those games came out,
Yeah, they looked
they were
amazing.
fantastic because we had these shitty TVs.
Yeah,
and
and
we
now
were
you look
used-
back at them, it's...
I mean,
there are a lot of
9
things like that.
The jump in between FF9 and FF10 is incredible. So I bought it, and that's exactly what it is. Like, it looks how I remember it looking. And then, just for shits and giggles, put in the old copy of Final Fantasy X, and it's garbage compared.
Yeah. I love finding things that are essentially the way you remember something, but not the way that something actually was.
So, without fail, every time I put in Kingdom Hearts, since I played the everlasting fuck out of it the first time, I've been like, wow, this looks way shittier than I remember it looking. And this time was absolutely no exception from that rule. But I'm willing to go past it because I do love the game. What I didn't remember is how fucking shitty the camera is.
Yeah, oh god.
It's got to be in my top 10 worst camera.
It's really rough.
And I had no recollection of it. And Brad asked me, because Brad's never played through them, and he's never actually seen any of the storyline from it. And so he's like, hey, if you're going to play something while I'm doing homework or something, maybe you should play through Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, I'll start it right now. I have the first one. And within 20 minutes of me playing, I'm like, this fucking camera fucking piece of... And it's the worst because you get that glide ability later on in the game, and you're trying to glide from one platform to the other, and the camera's just like, I'm gonna spin around this way for some reason, and you're gonna go with it because that's how the game controls work.
Yeah. Oh god, I hate that. I hate how the controls shift based on the camera view. It's like, you can't do that to me while I'm doing stuff. You can't change the camera angle and then go, oh, now you're holding the control stick the wrong direction.
Yeah. It's real
that's
bad.
not okay. 3D camera has always been a sticky spot of 3D gaming, because I mean.
Well, I'm so used to, okay, so the Arkham games that are pretty good, whereas in Kingdom Hearts, I'm bitching about when you get into a fight, specifically in Hollow Bastion, so it's the area right before the last area. While you're fighting, you're doing this Final Fantasy X-esque Cloister of Trials to get to the top of this castle. And as you're going up, you go around the outside of the castle on these balconies and stuff. But because a lot of your moves, you jump into the air to hit them, right? You can just fall off the balcony and go right down to the end part.
Delightful.
There's no way to turn that off, right? Because he just has an aerial attack. So I remember when I was playing through the Arkham games, it was really annoying that if you ran towards the edge of a building during a fight, you wouldn't actually fall off the edge of the building when you're trying to get away. You actually had to tell him to grapple off the building. And it was so it was pissing me off so bad. And then I started playing Kingdom Hearts, and I'm like, I will never again bitch about having invisible walls during a fight, because this is the most annoying thing I've ever gone through.
Invisible wall is better than, Deadly Fall.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it. It works into other things, too. Like, for instance...
I will kill that fruit fly by the end of the stream.
I believe in you. A number of years ago, some of you may remember, there was a live-action G.I. Joe movie.
Yep.
It's pretty crappy.
There was two.
The second one rules, and has The Rock.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good. We should.
But
watch
I hear
it.
that Bruce Willis is the original Joe.
He is. He's like General Joe Colton. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. What I want to get to is right before the G.I. Joe live action movie came out, which sucks. There was an animated G.I. Joe kind of. It's not quite feature length, but it was basically a number of episodes. Like, it was like a 5-episode thing. It was called G.I. Joe. What was it called? Hey, chat, do you remember
Internet.
what it was called? It's. I'm sure it'll come to me. At any rate, it's great, and it's like No, it's not Renegade, because that was a series. This was like a short thing, like a mini series. Resolute, G.I. Joe Resolute. That's what it was called. It's fantastic, and it's the way you remember G.I. Joe being, as opposed to the way G.I. Joe actually was.
Oh, dear.
If you watched G.I. Joe as a child. Like, when I watched G.I. Joe as a kid, G.I. Joe was out when I was like 5 years old, so I thought G.I. Joe was fucking badass. You know, it was so serious and it was so cool, and there were lasers, and there was that guy with that face, and that other guy with that other face. You know.
What's the next one I'm doing? Sorry.
Did you get it? It looked like you got it.
Did I? I just swatted it.
I thought so. Like,
I did not swat it up my nose this time.
Oh,
Oh my god! I forgot my wine.
Ah.
Keep talking about G.I. Joe.
So G.I. Joe Resolute is like the super badass version of G.I. Joe. Yeah, exactly, Balthazar. The villains killed people. Like, it's like a hardcore version of G.I. Joe. It's the way you remember it being when you were 5, but it wasn't actually. Because if you go back and watch the original G.I. Joe now, it is silly as fuck.
Yep.
I mean, it's still great. It still holds up, and it's well worth watching. I just watched an episode last week called Bazooka Sees a Sea Serpent. And no joke, at one point, Duke says, "Let's ram something hot down your throat."
Oh dear.
That happened in an episode of G.I. Joe. Go look it up.
Sorry,
It's great.
The Good, the Bad, and the Pugly was the name of the video that's on the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Buster!
Oh, Buster.
Speaking of which, having a bad time down there.
Oh.
You okay, buddy?
Maybe.
Choking your cookie?
Yeah.
There's a Babe Ruth one?
Yeah.
Babe Boof?
Yeah, Babe Boof.
Okay, I gotta look up.
But yeah, G.I. Joe Resolute is the way you remember G.I. Joe being when you were a kid, but wasn't. I think I would say the same thing about the Speed Racer movie. Speed Racer...
I'm trying to type Babe Boof in.
Yeah. Speed Racer, the movie, is awesome, and it's the way you remember Speed Racer being when you watched it as a kid, but isn't actually, because Speed Racer actually sucks really hard.
Yeah, really hard.
It's really bad.
But I recommend the movie, even if you
movie's
haven't
fantastic.
seen the series.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw the trailer for the movie, I was like, oh, Jesus, you know, it looks like, you know, like a Crayola box, you know, had its non-consensual way with your eyes. But in fact, that's absolutely wrong, because it's more like the big box of Crayola had, you know, made the sweetest of love to your eyes, and it was like totally consensual and great.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Speed Racer movie, and the Speed Racer movie is all of the things that you think Speed Racer was, like if you watched Speed Racer at all.
Mm-hmm.
But so it takes all of the things that were good about Speed Racer and jettisons all the things that were shit about Speed Racer, which is a lot. And I don't know. I kind of
actually didn't even mind Chim Chim in it.
Yeah, I kind of
I hated Chim Chim when I watched the show.
No doubt. I kind of love it when that happens, like when you find something that basically saves something from your childhood that you remember loving, but is in fact kind of shitty now.
Yeah, and it really, I don't know how to say this politely / dignified. After going through what we went through with Transformers, there he is.
Okay, I'm on it.
Did you get him?
I don't think it did.
After going through what we went through with Transformers,
It's not in there, buddy.
It's really sad watching that movie by comparison, because you know that these people that made the movie loved Speed Racer and wanted to do it justice, and just like, I don't know, the vision and the writing of it, and like how much I can only assume the battles they went through with the producers to be like, no, we have to have the monkey. No, we have to have this. No, he has to be wearing the goddamn kerchief. Like,
yeah. Well, the thing is, it was the Wachowskis, so at that time they were still kind of riding high off of Matrix, and working with Joel Silver, the guy who did Matrix with them. So they probably actually had a much easier time with the producers than they would have had it been like a different group making it.
I'm just so but there's like little things in it, like I don't know. I can just see them having them like, yeah, we're gonna do Speed Racer, but he's gonna be wearing all leather, and he's gonna have like spikes coming out of his arms for no good reason, because that's super cool and dangerous, and there's gonna be gun battles and blah blah blah. And they're just like, or we could just make a Speed Racer movie, and that would be awesome.
I love the racing in Speed Racer. Like,
so
watching Speed Racer and the races, I was like, wow, you can tell watching this, like, that George Lucas must be at home crying because his pod race cannot live up to this. Like, the races in Speed Racer are so exciting and so fun and so cool, and the pod race is so boring and so bland and so slow. And, it's like, wow, way to shame George Lucas.
I don't know which uniform. I guess New York was a stripy uniform, and Red Sox was the non-stripy uniform. I don't know anything about Babe Ruth. You guys gotta help me.
I don't know. I know nothing.
I'm gonna go with Red Sox.
Yeah, that's fine. Grand Evil, if Speed Racer was played by The Rock, I'd still be in, because I love The Rock. I'll watch The Rock in practically anything. I watched The Rock in San Andreas, and it was great.
The Rock had me after Doom, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, I love Doom.
So good!
Yeah, nobody gives Doom any respect, but Doom was great.
I loved
Doom
it.
is my favorite video game movie. So, yeah.
I don't know what my favorite would be.
There aren't a lot that are worthwhile. Like, up until then, I would have said that, Mortal Kombat was by default. Like, I don't like the Mortal Kombat movie, but it's more fun than most any other video game movie.
You guys need to understand, there is a Tekken movie that I have on Blu-ray.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I will loan it to you. It is perfect for what it is, but as I was watching the movie, I'm like, wow, I forgot how shitty the plot was to Tekken. Like, the costumes are perfect. They didn't try to up it in any way. They just, like, picked characters from the Tekken movies, and they're like, here's a physical representation of that. And it was everything I expected or needed from a Tekken movie, but it's Tekken.
Cool.
So, like, there's not much beyond, like, we're having a fighting competition.
They made a movie of that, like, DOA volleyball.
I think I heard about that, but
like,
I never played it.
I can't fathom how one turns that into a movie. I mean, it's like Boob Jiggle the movie, which I'm not necessarily opposed to.
I'll go get the box for Tekken.
Okay.
You talk about Boob Jiggle the movie.
I'm not going to talk about Boob Jiggle the movie while you were gone. So, guys, have you, like, read any good Star Wars fanfic lately? I haven't. I've read some really bad Star Wars fanfic lately. I read one the other day where somebody tried to create atmosphere by saying there was atmosphere. Like the tension in the room became even more tense, I believe, was roughly the line. I'm like, I don't know that you can create tension by saying there's tension. I think you have to actually, take us through it. You have to create the tension without just saying, "Oh, there's
I
tension."
heard Star Wars for a
Yeah,
like,
what?
minute earshot.
Why would I talk about that? Okay,
Why?
hey, we're back.
Why would you talk about that? So, this is that fantastic movie I was talking about.
Oh, I like his hair.
Yeah, they did justice to everybody in it. There's Yojimbo's in it. We've got the Williams sisters in it. Apparently, King was supposed to be in it, and they signed on a really famous wrestler to play King, and then he didn't make it, or had to cancel his contract right at the last second. And they're just
bummer.
like, well, if he can't be King, then nobody can. So fuck it.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, I was really shocked at the amount of decent fights there are in that, and how true they were to their costumes and everything. They didn't...
I like the tagline on this: Tekken, survival is no game. Because it's a video game. It's a video game, but it's no game.
So I highly recommend you guys watch this movie.
I'm gonna watch it as soon. If you're lending it to me tonight, I'm watching it as soon as I get home.
If you've played the games, any of the Tekken games, you're gonna love this movie because it's exactly what you would expect from
I have
a Tekken
only played
movie.
one of the Tekken games, the first one on the PlayStation 1.
That's fine. You'll catch up.
With that almost ragdoll physics going on. It was back in the day.
If you haven't played the games, then maybe don't watch it because it won't make any sense to you and you won't give a shit about any of the characters. But yes, my only complaint from that movie is that there's no King in it, who's been in every single game. But now that I know what I know, because I read the trivia on IMDb, because I had to, I'm glad that they actually did plan on having him in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I've always wanted them to do a Metal Gear Solid movie.
I don't know how they have... There's so many video games that would lend themselves so perfectly.
Yeah, that one really feels like it's been crying out for a movie forever. And the thing is, they could have had the voice of Snake play Snake back in the day, because David Hayter really looked the part.
Mm-hmm.
That time has passed now. David Hayter is getting...
But no, it's Kiefer.
Oh, is Kiefer doing the voice now?
I think he's the Snake that you play in
Yeah, but
Metal
that's not Solid Snake, though.
No.
That's the guy who eventually becomes Big Boss. You're essentially playing the bad guy in this game, is my understanding. Which makes sense, considering
Spoiler.
your... Is it a spoiler? I thought
don't
that was
know.
well known. It makes sense, considering you are essentially the bad guy in the game. You're kidnapping people and forcing them to be in your, mercenary army.
Yeah.
That's not a good guy thing to do. Maybe you're doing some good stuff as well. I don't know, but you're a bad guy in this. I'm calling it a movie. It's a game. You're a bad guy in this game. So, yeah.
A lot of games these days play out like movies, so it's not...
I always wanted David Hayter to play Snake because I had seen him in one of my all-time favorite B movies, Guyver 2: Dark Hero. Shut up. Shut up. It's fantastic.
I didn't say anything.
You're laughing. And in your laughing, I can hear your judgment. But he really does look the part, or did look the part back in the day. He's getting a bit old, and I don't know. He could still do it if they got him a personal trainer to buff him up a bit, because he's
Buster.
Come here.
Not
that I should be one to talk about people getting pudgy, like I can judge, but he's gotten a little pudgy, and I'm judging.
Is that you?
Oh, he doesn't.
Oh dear.
Gotta be careful. He doesn't like other dogs, even him.
No, he doesn't.
Buster was barking at himself on cam earlier. It was quite funny.
True story. When I started drawing this Buster, I was looking down at him for reference, right? And as soon as it got to the part where I started coloring him in, he woke up from his nap and at the screen. I'm like, yes, excellent. I know, baby.
Night Valiant. Okay, they've come up with a story reason why it's okay for you to, steal these people. Just the way they came up with a story reason why it's okay for that girl to be mostly naked for the duration.
Right.
But I don't know. To me, there's something insulting about that. It's just say what it is. It's you're kidnapping people. That's what's happening. She is not wearing anything because we're trying to put sex appeal into this game. But when you come up with a a really ridiculous reason why, oh no, actually she can't wear clothes because she breathes through her skin, I don't know. To me, that it's kind of like bullshit.
Yeah.
There's, like, if really, then why doesn't she, like, shave her head? That would probably help a lot.
How come there's no dude with that problem? Like,
Yeah, or exactly how much skin is necessary for this? Can she not wear a t-shirt and shorts? Like, that seems like it would work. It seems silly to me, like, coming up with a way to justify the TNA is silly, Like, we all know why it's there. Don't try to dress it up as something else.
I think it would be... I don't even know if it would be that much of an issue. I'm so used to seeing... I was about to say comic book, and I was trying to tell myself not to. Video game heroines wearing very little anyway, that giving an excuse as to why they're wearing very little is almost more insulting than just putting them in there.
Exactly.
Because I've come to expect it at this point. Not that I agree with it, but I expect it. Sorry, I'm looking up. Unfortunately, all the photos of Beirut are in black and white, so it's really difficult to find a color version of his outfit. That's not helping me at all.
I don't think there was a whole lot of color on the outfits. Like, I think the outfits were essentially looked like gray pajamas.
And just red socks on the front. Alright. Not even his hat. Alright.
Nah. No color.
Buster, stop licking your paws. You're killing me.
But they're delicious.
I don't know if it's coming through on the mic, you guys, but all I can hear from where I'm sitting is... Oh, the saxophone player's back! Good! Someone in the area plays saxophone until exactly 10 p.m. because that's the point where you can call the police.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was 11. Either way, yeah. I've got a guy who lives in the alley out back of my building. Like, there's some houses there, and every morning at 2:15 a.m. he revs up his motorcycle for about 10 minutes before he finally leaves. Like, I guess he's got to warm up his engine or whatever. And then he leaves like he's in some kind of race. It's like... up the street. I hate it. It pisses me the fuck off. Also, you'll be glad you missed this when you lived with me. They've refurbished the tennis court.
Oh, dear.
My balcony and windows... look down on the tennis court at my complex, and they have refinished the tennis court, and now people are playing tennis.
Oh, good.
And
but that's not annoying at all.
No, not at all. I have to keep my windows closed because it's just people, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. It's terrible, and a lot of laughing and hooting and hollering and stuff, and like I want to like shout at them. It's like, you're not at a park, you're not at the gym. This is a residential kind of thing. You have to be... You can use it, but you got to be quieter.
I don't understand a lot of the rules that go along with, okay, for instance, in my building, there's a rule that you can't have the dog on the floor. Like, if you have a dog, you can't have it on the floor in the common areas. So we have to carry Buster out of the building every time we take him out. And...
Which seems silly. Like, what, are dog paws dirtier than the bottoms of my shoes?
Well, I assumed it had to do with dirt, and I think our landlord said that he assumed someone had gotten, like, jumped on by a big dog or something like that, and so they were like, well, now you have to carry them. And he was telling us that there was some poor elderly man that had to carry his Labrador, and, like, probably broke his friggin' back and moved out through the building just to take him out. And on some levels, I'm like, okay, but if we're going to go that far, then, like, how about no one is allowed to play music past 10? Because when I get woken up by, like, blasting music at midnight because it's Friday and, other people have normal lives, whereas I get to work every day, why is that okay? Because I just don't... Yeah. There's silly rules, and then there's things that they just don't give a shit about.
Yeah. My new upstairs neighbors are very loud and thunder around... And it pisses me off. And every time I go upstairs to complain, knock on their door, they don't answer the door. So I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's
you
not like
call the police on them.
I can, but it's like, it's not like noise. Like, they don't have their TV turned up really loud. They're just walking around really heavily. And, you can't record that on like a cassette or something. Like you can't record this and say, here, listen, this is what I have to deal with. But like I've had to take some things off the wall because they've knocked paintings and stuff off my wall, posters and stuff.
I would just complain to the Strata.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. So anyway, before I continue with this, do we have any more good? I think I might have time for one more Buster costume. I know that Brad was writing them down, but I'm not sure how the sound is coming through on his computer.
I don't know.
I'll let chat. Maybe I'm looking for puns on Buster, Pug, or Boof.
Wasn't there Boofy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes! That was the one I wanted to do.
There you go.
There we go. So, in my old buildings, I've lived in several different places. You know, Boofy.
Can we take down this picture of Babe Ruth now? Because
it's terrifying.
He is not an attractive man. Like, yeah, he's kind of grossing me out, to be perfectly honest.
Here. We'll bring up Sarah Michelle Gellar instead.
Right.
You guys can't see this, but...
you're gonna go with the more popular version of Buffy and not the original movie Buffy.
Well, I was thinking of blonde wig and then tighter clothing and maybe a cross taped to his side.
I was wondering if you were gonna dress Buster up as a cheerleader.
I don't know. I don't feel like that's the vision of Buffy that most people
see. I mean, it's weird for me because
chat vote on it. I'm thinking dark, tight clothes and a blonde wig and a cross around his neck. Buster, stop licking your feet.
See, for me, Buffy in my head is forever the movie Buffy because I never watched Buffy the series. I could never get into it. Joss Whedon is weird for me. I either really like what he's doing or I really hate what he's doing, and there doesn't appear to be much in between. Mm-hmm. So I really dislike Buffy and Angel, and I really dislike Dollhouse.
I never got into Dollhouse, but I really loved Buffy.
But I really love Firefly, and I really love Avengers and Age of Ultron. Despite what, the internet at large seems to have a lot of problems with Age of Ultron. I don't share them. But yeah, so Joss Whedon is kind of hit or miss for me. When he hits hard. When he misses hard. And, for me with Buffy, it's weird because the writing in Buffy is not too far off of the writing in Firefly. It's people being, clever and witty and pithy, but I believe it in Firefly, whereas I don't believe it in Buffy. When I watch Buffy, I don't think any of those people are generating their dialogue from their brains. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're reciting a script. And so maybe that's a problem with, the acting as opposed to the writing. But, that's how it comes across to me. I'm like, that person didn't say that. That guy, Xander, is not saying those things. He's reading them.
Yeah.
That was written for him because he could not come up with that on his own. And did you get
I got it!
Yes! It happened. That's right.
Buster's cheering for me.
Yes.
Yay!
Stupid fruit fly.
I'm so happy right now, you guys. I'm just waiting for the second one.
Yeah, the second. It turns out there were two. Turns out there was a squadron.
Fruit fly the revenge.
Fuck. But yeah, so, whereas watching Firefly, the dialogue always, to me, the actors made it feel like that dialogue was being generated by the brain of that person and not, having been written and memorized from a script.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of it, there are a lot of movies and TV shows and video games, for that matter, that a lot of people will have the nostalgia factor to, mm-hmm. because it happened to come out at a specific age, and I'm talking that age in between 9 and 13, mm-hmm. where you start to really develop your taste towards genres and actors and music and stuff like that. And that was around the time where I'm I really like horror and slasher stuff, and Buffy happened to come out at exactly that time. And besides, I guess, Xena.
Xena.
I loved Xena, by the way. besides Xena, that was like the only kind of like supernatural.
I wasn't really a big fan of Xena, the show. I was a big fan of Lucy Lawless, Xena. Oh, yeah.
Love Lucy Lawless.
Even, like, she is still ridiculously gorgeous.
She's another one of those people that can just hurry the fuck up in age.
Yeah,
like when I saw her in Parks and Rec, I'm just like,
yeah,
fuck off,
yeah.
you're still gorgeous.
Yeah,
I hate
exactly.
you.
Like when I saw her in Parks and Rec, I was like, damn, Ron Swanson, you lucky son of a bitch.
It was not okay.
Hey, I found another fruit fly.
No!
Yeah.
There was two all along.
Oh, no.
I knew it, you bastard.
Alright. No, I've lost it. Damn these screens!
Right?
You can't see from our angle, but there's a screen here, there's a screen there, and there's a screen there. Screens everywhere, making it very hard to see the offending fruit fly until it flies right through your field of vision. Lucy Lawless is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited that she's in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, like the new series.
I haven't heard anything about that. All I've heard is that they're doing a thing.
Have you seen? You've not seen the trailer?
No.
Oh God, we gotta watch the trailer after this because it's amazing.
We will.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
I actually, even with it being on Netflix, still have not seen the new Evil Dead, like the more recent one.
It's not bad. I'm not a fan of most of the current like the most recent wave of horror remakes, but. No, that was my stomach. Oh, yeah, and it's here. And fucking fruit fly.
One day.
It's gonna happen.
I can't wait until actual winter when there's no fruit flies.
Like, I didn't really care for the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Like, I saw where they were going with it, and I liked some of the stuff they were trying to do, but at the end of the day, I was like, the first movie did it better. But we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. I really liked.
Really
because
liked
it takes the first three Friday the 13th movies and combines them into this one cohesive unit that gets you to Jason by the end of the film. And I was like, yeah, this is great. I love this.
So I don't know how they did it with Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street. I know it's not a popular opinion, but somehow they managed to hit that exact, like, what do you call it, like, separation from the feel of the original movies, plus homages / like enough stuff from the original movies to make a completely different, I don't want to say genre, but like a whole new, like, reimagining of it.
Yeah.
That was enough of the original Nightmare that I'm like, okay, I can see this as a reboot, but far enough from it that it wasn't like we're taking it and then fucking it over. And I really liked it. Like, I'm okay with those kind of reimaginings. Like, it's the same reason that I really like the Arkham games. Like, they're not canon. They take a lot from canon and they kind of make it their own. And the whole different track that they went on with Arkham Knight, like, that doesn't happen in the comics. That just happens in that game, and I'm okay with it because it's a reimagining.
I think everyone, like, resolves these things for themselves differently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, but I don't really care for it either. Like, most of the time I was like, oh yeah, I remember when they did that in the original movie. I liked it better in the original movie. This isn't as good.
There's a few things. Like, they do the face through the wall in the new one, but it's really poorly done CG.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, like, you could have left that out.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary. Especially because I went through the trouble of making, like, the rubber wall in the original one, which is so iconic.
with the latex, which looks so great.
Yeah.
And I like the original Nightmare on Elm Street enough that watching the remake, I was just like, I'd rather just be watching the original right now.
But I am a huge sucker for movies that switch the protagonist partway through, which that one does very well, I might add.
I was really on board with the notion of, making it very ambiguous as to whether Freddy was actually the bad guy.
I like that a lot, too.
I was like, this is good, like this...
I mean, I was secretly saying, like, please don't let it be good. Please don't let it be good.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they didn't, obviously, but, I liked that kind of switch up wherein, like, it wasn't clear from, like, the very beginning that, he was definitely the bad guy. That... he was doing bad shit, but, there was...
Or maybe it was just overprotective parents,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the we started talking about this for a reason. A reason I don't remember.
I was talking about genres that you liked at a certain age.
Yeah, and we were talking, and I started talking about horror remakes. Oh yeah, because we were talking about Evil Dead.
Right.
The Evil Dead remake, I really like. I really like the Evil Dead remake, although it's hard for me to watch because I'm bad with gore.
Sorry, Lady Thimbletrimmer posted the Steven Universe fan art of Other Pearls.
Nice. I like it. Pardon me. Yeah, the Evil Dead remake really feels like what they were like. They said, okay, the original Evil Dead, they were trying to make a truly scary horror movie, and kind of failed upwards.
Yeah.
They instead made a horror movie that was funny, and then went after that. You know, they're like, okay, people are liking this, let's move forward with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they never got to make the Evil Dead that they originally set out to make, which was like an honest-to-goodness horror movie.
Mm-hmm. So
let's do that. And they did, and it is genuinely scary and gross and creepy, and I like it a lot. And I would call it one of the more successful attempts at a reboot.
Well, that's good.
That said, I would still rather watch the original.
Right.
Because I have more fun with the original. And
that's in a lot of ways how I feel about Nightmare. Like, I would still, if someone suggests, like, let's watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, I'm like, yes, let's fucking watch Dream Warriors and get really drunk and make fun of it. You know, like, I have so much more fun watching those original ones than I do the new one, but I still really like the new one. It's just that, in my head, it falls along the, like, this is a good horror movie, and now we're moving on.
Yeah. Amethyst, I don't think that the remake fits into the new Evil Dead series at all. So my understanding is that, like, this new Evil Dead series is part of the original Evil Dead canon, and the remake just doesn't really... It's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll ever do anything with that remake. I think that remake was popular, but not popular enough for them to carry forward with it, you know? That's the... I think that's the vibe I got off of it. Like, I don't think it was a huge success.
Q Monster bought Moonshine. My God.
Hey, there's moonshines that are all right out there. Jared gets moonshine for Halloween and New Year's every year. Apple pie moonshine is quite good. He also gets this cherry moonshine that I don't really like.
Is it basically just like a... Oh, fuck, what is it called? Like, just the highest alcohol content you can get? Which name
essentially.
I know that one of my exes used to make apple pie something or other, like apple pie alcohol, by buying... The name of it escapes me. Someone can help me out here. You can just buy it at the liquor store, especially in the States, and it's the highest alcohol content that you can buy, and then you mix it or like distill it with something else. And he uses like apple pie spices, and then he makes like apple pie liqueur from it in this liqueur, and it just kind of cuts out the actual like having to ferment it.
Everclear?
Huh?
Everclear?
That's it.
Everclear. Hooray!
Brad knows.
Brad knows. And so does Zeke. Jared has brought a number of moonshines to our Halloween parties and New Year's parties, and they're all right. We use them, like the apple pie ones, in the mixing of fancy martinis quite often. For those of you who don't know, and that's probably all of you, because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, every year for New Year's Eve, I have a James Bond New Year's party where we spend the evening watching James Bond movies and drinking martinis. And, yeah. It's...
Because you're super classy.
Totally. And it's like the one time of the year that I actually drink. Like, I drink almost never.
Except that one time we made Landos. Remember that?
Yeah, that was my birthday.
Yeah. Jeff and I created a drink.
The Lando, because it's smooth.
You take butter ripple liqueur and put it into Coke Zero. And it tastes like caramel candy, basically.
Yeah.
And we got shockingly wasted off of it.
Yes, we did.
Even though it was a small bottle of it.
Solomon Kane, you're correct. Martini glasses are the worst drinking glass.
Yes.
Like.
This is basically
I want these. These are nice.
Modified martini glass. My old roommate got them from he used to, or still does, work for a catering company, and he can get them from like the place that makes all the glasses when you...
Yeah, I keep meaning to message him because I want some, and he said he'd get some for me, but I also haven't had the money to do that. But someday.
And they're much better than martini glasses, they don't knock over as much, but...
yeah, totally.
I also use them to pace myself, because actual wine glasses hold more than half a bottle of wine if you actually, like, put a decent amount in. And I didn't know that when I started drinking wine. So, you know, you fill a decent glass and you're just like, it's a glass of wine.
You're like,
I didn't know...
I haven't had that much. I've only had half of 4 bottles of wine.
I didn't know that a glass of wine is like that much in the wine glass. Yeah. And that it's all just for show. No one tells you these things.
Zeke, martini glasses are the worst because their general design is really unstable. They're up on this long stalk. Their base is not really built for stability.
Unless you get like the super fancy like crystal ones or the heavy duty ones.
It doesn't have like a rim really, like because it's just a cone going outwards that ends. So if you fill it up too high, like the slosh of the drink when you move it around, it's really easy to spill like without even realizing it. I mean, you can have a really steady hand and move your glass, and you'll probably still spill. I know that it was the bane of my existence at my place before I renovated because I had carpets, and everyone would spill on my carpets, and it pissed me off a lot. But
Speaking
everything's
of which,
fine now.
Carpet cleaners these days are fantastic. The spray carpet cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of you who are in the chat right now tuned in for the Mia's Going Away party.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many red wine spills were in my house after that.
Yeah.
And it's my own damn fault for having red wine at a party that had like 30 people shoved into this room.
Yeah.
But there was just like, it was just a little like, oh, I caught it. It didn't actually spill, but it did. There was
totally
3 drops over here. So
yeah.
It kind of looked like someone got murdered in my apartment after. And I went and bought carpet cleaner being like, this is it. Like, this is how we lose our deposit.
Yeah.
And it's magic. You fucking spray that stuff on, and you leave it there for like 5 minutes, and it's gone. It's gone. Nice. It doesn't fuck up your carpet at all. It's amazing. I didn't know that existed or worked so well.
Speaking of making your apartment look like murder, because this reminded me, a while back I got a juicer, for making juice, because that's healthy and shit. Juice. And juice. And I made beet juice.
Oh dear.
And the thing about beets is that no matter how you prepare them, they will stain everything red. And by the time... And juicing is possible...
Pink purple.
Yeah. Well, it depends on...
Delightful color.
It depends on how many you're dealing with, too, and what you're doing to them. Like, if you're juicing them, basically my kitchen looked like I'd murdered a small family.
Yeah.
But better yet, as a person who had never really had beets before... and certainly had never drunk beet juice. Several hours later, I discovered when I went to the bathroom that beet juice just... it was like The Shining, man.
No.
Like, it was terrifying. Like, I was panicked for 10, 20 seconds. I was like, Jesus Christ!
I'm dying.
And then I remembered. I was like, wait, beets. That's what's happening
fucking
here.
Beets.
I'm okay.
Everything's
Thank
fine.
goodness. So yeah. So
let's talk about poop some more on our stream.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about the Whopper then. Because recently Burger King had this Whopper, I don't know if it was Halloween themed or whatever, but at any rate, it had a black bun.
This is what I do for my job. I draw my dog in drag and talk about poop.
Yeah. And it turned people's poop green.
I've heard about that.
Bright green.
We don't have the black Whopper here, though, do we?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't get to Burger King as much as I would like. I I really like Burger King. I really like the Whopper. It's probably my favorite
Wendy's
fast
is
food
my
burger. But Burger King is
choice.
also, way the hell out of the way for me. Like, if I want to go through a Burger King with a drive-through, I have to go to Colwood.
Right.
And if I don't, then I have to come downtown and find a place to park.
Which is the worst.
Yeah. Either way, it's not that great. That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
It was only when I zoomed out to see the wig.
But
So good.
generally speaking, Wendy's is my favorite. But because of stuff that I have access to in town. But I like a Whopper when I can get one.
I used to be addicted to the Baconator.
Oh,
back in the day.
man, the Baconator.
And then I found out how many calories were in it.
Yeah.
And then I realized how many pairs of pants didn't fit anymore.
I'm a big fan of the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger because it's super cheap. And I think,
Hardly average. I might draw a steak on the ground.
I would say the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, you get more for your money than you do with, the cheeseburger or the Bacon McDouble at McDonald's or whatever, because you get nicer ingredients. And...
Am I crazy, or does Dairy Queen have good burgers, too? I used to like Dairy Queen a lot.
I think that you're crazy. However, my mom doesn't. My mom loves Dairy Queen and their burgers.
Their onion rings are
Their onion rings are great. You're the one that introduced me to Dairy Queen onion rings. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, who?
Brad came in and be like, yes.
I was just thinking about this the other day. Who was it that introduced me to Dairy Queen onion rings? Who, made me realize that Dairy Queen onion rings are the greatest. And I couldn't remember. I just remembered that one of my friends had been like, "No, Dairy Queen onion rings are great." It was you.
Yeah.
It was when you were
100%.
living with me.
Dairy Queen onion rings and ketchup.
Yeah.
You
You
guys.
know what we got here in town now?
What?
Heinz ketchup, sugar free.
Yay!
Yeah, no added sugar.
I was just mentioning to Brad that it was impossible to find ketchup in the States that didn't have sugar,
Yeah.
way too much sugar in it.
Yeah, I just got some the other day because, I love ketchup, but there's so much sugar in ketchup. And then I was at Thrifty's the other day, and there it was. It's no added sugar. It's got like 1 gram of carbs per.
So there you go,
tablespoon.
guys. Now you know where to buy all of our favorite burgers and how much junk food we consume on a regular basis, which is a lot. That's actually our time.
Are we out of time?
We're out of time.
We talked so much.
We talked so much
I'm really
about
proud
so
of
many
us.
things, all by ourselves. Yeah. As per usual, I will let you guys know that you can contact us / find us on social media in the links below the stream.
Social medias.
And you should read my comic, MegaCynics.com. It's also in the link below the stream. And if you missed any of the past streams that I've done, there's a YouTube link below there as well.
I watch them sometimes when I feel like cringing at what I look like on cam, because the nice thing about when we're on cam here is I'm rarely looking over here where I can actually see us.
There's a few streams that they're older and I haven't posted them yet because in my head I kind of log I should probably cut that out. That was pretty offensive.
Yeah.
And there's a few on there that I'm just like, nope, I said something on that stream that I need to cut out before it goes on YouTube. And I haven't actually had the time to just sit down and watch them to figure out where it was yet. But they're going up. Usually I'll post them within a week or two, but I'm a little behind right now. Sorry, Desert Bus and being sick. But that happens. Read the comic. You can watch the streams. You can also donate to the Patreon if you like what you see here. I post a bunch of stuff that we draw on the stream, including super awesome Steven Universe stuff, backgrounds like this one.
Ooh.
Yeah. You could have that in high resolution if you donated $10 to the Patreon. You should probably do that.
Yeah. Why not?
And as per usual, we should do our countdown.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So we'll see you guys next week. We'll probably have a Jess sitting right over there.
It could happen.
And next week, we're either going to draw the MegaCynics Halloween special, which is going to be the cast drawn as Batman characters, or I'll do Sad Lapis. One of the two.
One of the two. Stuff will happen.
You should probably watch.
All right.
You ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,